Bienvenue dans La Leçon, le podcast sur l'art d'échouer. Aujourd'hui, je suis ravie de recevoir l'une des gagnantes les plus iconiques de Rupaul Drag Race US, Chachki. Pour ceux qui ne la connaissent pas encore, elle a une popularité immense parce qu'elle a su se distinguer en créant des looks extraordinaires avec des références au Paris des années 40, saupoudrés d'une touche de fétichisme. Elle marque en ce moment l'histoire en devenant la toute première performeuse au Crazy Horse à être drag queen. J'ai eu la chance de voir les coulisses. Je ne peux que vous inciter à prendre votre place pour l'une de ces 10 shows exclusifs du 24 au 28 juin 2024. Elle est américaine, je vous propose donc dès maintenant de switcher en anglais. Did you understood what I told you?
A little bit, yes. That, I'm going to be the crazy horse. And
Yeah.
I'm an American drag queen and we're going to switch to English.
Yeah. Actually, you were my fav in your season because you have such a Parisian point of view in your fashion. I feel it actually.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
I'm pretty well known for fashion and now for Paris. I feel like
yeah,
too.
You represent something, but you were also very funny. And I don't want people to forget that because
yes, they do. I think they do. I think a lot of people think, you're either glamorous or you're funny. And I think you can be both. I mean, it's never my goal to be funny. I think the thing with people who are comedians is that's their goal.
Yeah.
They're working to be funny. Whereas for me, it just comes natural.
Fortunately, now you are creating your own brand and working all around the world. You worked with disadvantages.
Yes.
Such an evidence for me when I see both of you. So, all right, I'm going to tell my introduction in English. There is something so powerful about drag. If you look closely, each queen or so had a hard time in high school, navigating their identity, suffering with bullies, etc. They all talk about it in the show. And drag is a beautiful way to tell the world that you can be absolutely everything you want and even more. It's such an unique way to express yourself, the masculine and feminine version inside of every one of us. And I thought it would be a great reminder to talk about your story, Violet, to give everyone the confidence to think that having a hard time isn't the end of the road, but only what it is, an obstacle to learn from. Hi, again.
Hi. Yes, thank you for having me.
Welcome in Montmartre.
Thank you.
Just near the Moulin Rouge, you are in an iconic place.
I know, and the windmill just fell.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, for me.
Stay.
My dressmaker texted me and said, "Oh, the city must feel your vibrational frequency."
I don't know if I have to thank you or...
No. It's funny because I drove by it the day that it happened and
No
I
way.
didn't notice.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was on my phone not looking and apparently the windmill fell. But yes, right by the Moulin Rouge, iconic, French, historic.
Yeah, for
cabaret.
sure. Pigalle, it's a huge way of doing whatever you want, if I can say.
Yes. No, I love it. I love staying in Pigalle. I love all the sex shops.
Yeah, that's so funny. I will give you my best place afterward.
Okay.
So we are gonna talk about the before you being drag because it's always such an interesting story. You were raised in Atlanta, right?
So, yeah, I mean, I was raised there. I went to Catholic school. And I just remember as a child always being told by my parents or by my school or whoever, like, boys don't do that. Boys don't act like that. You can't walk like that. You can't talk like, stop doing that. Stop acting like that. Stop walking like that. Stop talking like that. You don't dress like that. Boys don't do that.
You were in constant shame.
Yes, constant. And it was almost ingrained in me. Like, I remember even my sister, I had an older sister, and she had Barbie dolls, and I'm playing with the Barbie doll, and then an adult would walk in, and I'd throw the doll across the room and be like, I wasn't playing with that.
They're wrong.
I wasn't playing with the doll. I wasn't playing with that.
Oh.
So it was like, ingrained in me, the shame, always.
Yeah, the shame and also the repression of all your emotion because you needed to have a face to be validated by others.
Yeah, I felt unsafe when I was being myself almost. You know, I was scared. I was scared to be myself as a child. And then I went to Catholic school, which, of course, we had to wear uniforms, which were always gender specific, you know, so it's like,
of course,
girls wear this skirt and shirt and these kind of shoes and these kind of socks, and boys wear this. And it was not only is it uniform so that everybody is the same, so that everybody looks the same and sort of, I think it's supposed to equalize, you know, everybody, even if it's like a class thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's also very gender specific. So now not only am I looking the same as everybody else, which I hated, but I'm also getting in trouble because of uniform violations and guidelines and these gender specific rules. And I remember in like second grade, you have your first communion and then all the girls get to pick out these dresses.
Yeah, and a beautiful crown with flowers.
Flowers and veils.
I had it.
Yes, and the dresses are all different. You know, some have beads, some have flowers, some have tools, so all the girls had these very unique dresses that they all were like, I remember vividly them all showing each other the dresses.
And I'm gonna go maybe far, but I wanted to do that for the dresses also, you know? I was young, I didn't really understood Jesus, etc. But having a little crown, I was proud.
Yeah, it's really, you know, it's fun and glamorous and you get to feel special, I think.
Yeah.
And then, so for boys, there's nothing. There's no individuality. It's navy slacks and a navy blazer and a tie, and that's it. So I remember being like jealous and being like, and I had a lot of girlfriends. I only had girlfriends when I was young, and they were all showing their dresses and comparing them, and I just felt like I was missing out. I felt like I was missing out, and I felt, again, the voice in my head was like, okay, well, you're a boy, so you have to do the boy thing, and you have to, and you can't be excited, and you shouldn't be excited about these things, and you have to be just like, that's just the way it is. In my brain, I was like, well, that's just.
It's like it was always bad news to be a boy.
Yeah, it's like it was for me. But even then, when we had the uniforms, I was still, almost made me stand out more as a child.
Really?
Because it was more obvious. It was like, okay, everyone's looking the same, but something about that one is different. He's still very different and acting different. And I was always getting in trouble, like just for talking or dancing or singing or like.
Yeah, expressing yourself.
Expressing myself, or I would have, or my uniform, I would try to sneak like different accessories with my uniform or different shoes or a belt or I would try to like individualize my uniform, or I would try to grow my hair long, and they'd be like, you have to cut your hair, it's too long.
And you know, everyone tells that, if only I could be a child again for a day, because we don't want to forget that kind of liberty. You didn't experience that.
Well, I sort of did, though. I just got in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, there is a nuance.
I did it because that's the thing about me, is that they couldn't stop me.
Okay.
But it was always
a confrontation.
Yeah. But it was like, it was so apparently who I was, and I just didn't stop. And so I was just, my whole life has been getting in trouble, just getting in trouble and dramatics, and it's been a drama. But yeah, no, I didn't stop. I just felt shame, but it didn't stop me ever as a kid, because it couldn't. It was who I was, really deep down. Inside of me, I was this over-the-top, flamboyant, dramatic, passionate, expressive person.
Yeah.
Why I discovered drag, almost. It's like I finally found something that I can channel everything that was repressed about me into. I can finally, instead of hiding my feminine side, I can explore it and celebrate it and showcase it. And even in the beginning in high school, I was expressing myself through fashion and through clothing and dressing very androgynously already. Like I really was getting into like, I was a scene kid. I was emo. So I was really into the fashion because it was very androgynous. You know, you would wear skinny jeans were just coming out and I would be sewing up my own skinny jeans and flat ironing my hair.
With a real culture.
Yeah,
it.
It was in like 2007, 2006, 2008. Those sort of, that was my first experience of like embracing feminine, embracing androgyny, embracing fashion as a form of expression. And I was like, yeah, finally. I feel like I finally found like my alternative crowd. So I was really leaning into the alternative element of being a teen. And that was sort of rebellious. And it was cool because there were other people doing it too. So I feel like I had
your crowd, my
community, you know, a support from people being like, yeah, flat iron your hair. Yeah, wear the girl jeans, wear the crop top and the eyeliner. So I finally feel like I had support even online on MySpace.
That was huge.
Yes, on the MySpace and on Tumblr.
Yeah.
So that's really where I discovered like counterculture. And I discovered drag that way through like Divine and RuPaul and like Candy Darling and Andy Warhol and all these things I was discovering online, and Betty Page. Some of my biggest inspirations I found through Tumblr. So it's just these counterculture icons that I was discovering, and I was absorbing all of it. And so then I started sort of doing drag in secret.
Okay.
In my dressing room, in my bedroom, my childhood bedroom.
Really?
Yeah, just I would steal my mom's makeup, I would also steal makeup from like the Walmart.
Yeah.
And,
no, it's okay.
Yes.
They won't sue you.
No, it's fine. Well, I did get in trouble. I had to do community service.
Oh my God.
But I would steal clothes from the Goodwill, women's clothing. Because I was even, in the beginning, I was embarrassed to buy women, you know, even to look at women's clothing in the store, much less to go take it to the front checkout. So so I was like, okay, I have to steal this because no one has to know. And then so I would go home and I would go lock my bedroom door and go on Tumblr and put on makeup, and I would take pictures on the MacBook. They had that photo booth.
Oh my God, the booth.
The photo booth.
It was it.
It was, and you had the filters and you had all the stuff, and you would click and go, boop, boop. So I was getting in drag in my room and doing the photo booth like this, and doing it in secret, and then and hiding it. And then I went out in drag for the first time on Halloween, which in America is big. Halloween is like my favorite time of year. It's my favorite.
How was it? It must be so freeing.
Well, even as a kid, Halloween, it's the one time of year where flamboyant is allowed. Costumes are allowed. Being loud and crazy, and you can be anything you want to be.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, it was like the one time of year I felt a bit of freedom.
Yeah.
And the adults, and even painting your nails, like in Halloween, boys could have nail polish because it was like Halloween, but only Halloween. So it's like as a kid, Halloween is like, you have to have it.
And you have candy also, so I might.
and
how can it be better than that?
How can it be better? It's everyone, all your friends get together. You can be whatever you want to be. Yeah. You get to curate a costume and be whoever you want. Yeah. And then you get a lot of candy.
Yeah.
And I was watching home movies. I was back home the other day in Atlanta, and we were watching movies, and it's me and my sister and my cousins and some other friends. in my living room. We're dumping out candy and we're in costumes and we're trading, 2 Snickers for 1 Kit Kat. And
oh my God.
And it's like some of those are like the good parts. But again, it's because I was allowed to be something else.
Today you are nurturing your inner child.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I went out for the first time as Mary Kate Olsen on Halloween with my boyfriend at the time who went as Posh Spice. Mm-hmm. This was when I was, I think, 16 or 17.
Okay.
And then after that, I got lots of attention when I went out. Positive attention. I mean, some negative attention too, but mostly positive.
Yeah.
And after that, I got addicted to it. I mean, going out and expressing yourself and getting positive reactions, or just attention in general, whether it's people looking or shocked or surprised or work it girl or like whatever, free drinks or laughs, people laughing, just any sort of attention.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I found it. I figured it out. And then from there, it became like therapy.
And how did you find your character?
Well, I've always really been inspired by strong females. I think Betty Page initially was like the first one. And I think, I don't know if her personality necessarily was as strong as the way her image is. She's always portrayed as, in really tall shoes, in a corset, very strong poses, very glamorous hair and striking face. And she just looks powerful in the images. I've always been inspired by like even fetish illustrations, like the girls in John Willie illustrations or Jean Bilbrough illustrations.
But it makes sense because fetichism is a part of sexuality where you can be totally free.
Yeah.
And I think the two combines makes really sense, actually.
Yes, it's definitely about...
That was a hard sentence for me too.
No,
I was like fighting for my life at the end.
No, everyone says my English is awful, but it's great. You have great English. You do.
Thank you.
Oh my God. It's better than my French, trust me.
Yeah, I trust you for that.
No, it is. There is something about the powerfulness of a woman, especially in the world. I think it's just harder for feminine people.
Yeah.
And so to see a feminine person overcoming everything and being powerful and reclaiming that and using glamour and beauty and sexuality as like almost weapons against misogyny, against the patriarchy, against these things that I think all feminine people have to deal with.
And actually,
inspiring.
There is a part in everybody who is feminine, and some men are afraid of theirs. And when they saw someone else expressing such a huge femininity, I think they are afraid of that,
Absolutely.
So that's a great, great tool.
Absolutely. Well, it's almost like shocking to them. And I think it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary because it's true. And everyone, there's the feminine and the masculine in everyone. And it's like men are taught from a very young age to repress all of their feminine side as much as they can. And
it creates an imbalance.
It creates an imbalance. And then they go the total opposite way where they're struggling emotionally. And then the same with women. You're taught to repress your power in a way. You're taught to repress your strength and to be more docile and more demure. And the truth is that everybody is both and needs both and has those. And so a lot of times it builds up in these ways that can be really
toxic.
Toxic, absolutely.
I learned something the other day. Oh my God, it blew my mind. A woman can have every emotion, but not anger. And men cannot express any emotion
except
anger. And being a powerful woman with a bit of fetishism is like showing your anger, and it's disturbing, but also, yeah, that's so powerful when you use everything of your palette.
Yes, absolutely.
I love speaking about this because I think it's so important for queer, but not for everybody actually, because everyone needs to learn from what you are saying, you know?
I'm even saying, like, if I would have maybe had a different childhood and been maybe a bit more accepting of my femininity, of my expression as a child, things might be different for me. I don't know. Maybe I would have transitioned. There was a time when I was thinking about transitioning when I was like 18 or 19. And I don't know. It might be, it's a double-edged sword. Like I maybe not would be where I am now with my career and with where I'm at and having to express it as my job. It may have been, I don't know if it would have been more embraced, you know, it might be easier. I might be happier. It might have been easier.
Can I ask you, and if you don't feel comfortable, I will just cut this part, but why did you change your mind about transitioning? Is it because now you can express everything?
No, I think I was doing drag a lot around 18, 19 and 20, those years, almost like every day doing it. And so I felt like I was living as Violet, and I felt like I was happy, you know, really happy. And it got a little confusing.
It
got confusing.
Understand.
And then I was thinking, okay, you know, you should really think about this and figure this out.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, you know, for me, from the way I view transness and being a trans person, you need to almost be at war with your body a little bit and feel out of place in your own skin. And I've never felt that way. I've never felt like I'm trapped in my body, or that I was born in the wrong body. I've always really loved my body and loved how I can use it and express myself. And luckily there is an androgyny with it. So I never felt like I needed to change my body.
Yeah, I understand.
And so for me, it's like you can just use drag as your therapy and use drag to explore this side of you. And that will be enough.
That's interesting. And it allows you to have both at the same time. Which
I don't know if it's easier to have both at the same time or harder. Even before I was living non-binary, you know?
Of course.
I was. And, but now we have the tools and the language to really understand and discuss it. So it is an evolution. And then even the word, I really love the term gender fluid because it literally is just like, it's fluid. It's whatever, however I'm feeling. You know, some days I don't want to put the makeup on and it's more like work. And some days, which are becoming more rare now, but some days I don't want to take the makeup off and I want to, and I'm really enjoying being in drag, being more feminine. So it's fluid like that for me.
But you know, I'm thinking that's not the same battle, of course, but even as a woman, when I put some heels and I was doing my hair and it gave me such power and I'm not looking at myself the same. And I know I don't experiment the word the same. And I can feel your power from it.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's not the same and we're not talking about that. But
it is the same though.
I get it actually now.
It is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what RuPaul, you know, the saying, you're born naked and the rest is drag.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's true. It's like, even for men, putting on
a costume,
pajamas or the suit with a tie,
a
suit, you're going, and that's drag.
Yeah,
I mean, you're you weren't born in that suit.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting that on because you want to communicate something. We're all playing characters and roles, and okay, I need to present myself a certain way because I want to get something.
Yeah, something.
Or have power for something, or not. Or I'm going in my pajamas because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And because I'm off, or I'm not in character, you know, I'm just being just trying to get through life, you know?
Yeah.
But, so that's why it is like drag. I mean, it's, maybe you're not on a stage, but the world is a stage.
And you walk in it.
Yes.
You need to see Violet on the stage of the Crazy Horse. I saw you working, and actually someone from the Crazy Horse told me, I never saw a person like Violet. They never tell that they are tired. They never complain. They are working so hard with a corset and everything. So I wanted to tell you that people are telling that about you when you're not here, you know?
Thank you. That's so nice to hear. Well, it is a lot of hard work, but it's like, for me, it's like rewarding.
Yeah,
I feel like finally my hard work is getting the support. I feel like I finally have support in a way that in the drag space is just not, it's not there. So now there's like, you know, I feel like a real star, you know, and so
yeah, you are.
I want to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, you need to. And I hope you will have a lot after that, but I'm pretty sure of that. So you need to see Violet's Chachki in June in Paris.
Yes, June 24th is when the shows start.
The first, wow.
Yes.
And I will give you my address in Pigalle when we
yes, of course. Of course.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, babe.
J'espère que cet épisode vous a plu. Pour suivre les coulisses du podcast, n'hésitez pas à me follower sur Instagram @Paulette_Grisoni, sur Twitter, podcast LL en majuscule, ou sur Facebook, La Leçon Podcast. On se dit à très vite pour un nouvel épisode.